Thank you. You may be seated. I'll ask the Recorder Treasurer to call the roll.
Barnes.
Here.
Bradley. Hastings.
Here.
Lynch.
Here.
Pistol.
Here.
Ward.
Here.
You have in front of you the agenda. I'll entertain a motion and a second to approve the agenda.
Make a motion to approve.
One second. Second, any discussion? I'll ask for a roll call.
Barnes.
Yes.
Hastings.
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Pistol.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
You also have in front of you June 10th, 2021 minutes and also the monthly financials. I'll entertain a motion and a second to approve those as presented.
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
Any discussion? I'll ask for a vote.
Barnes.
Yes.
Hastings.
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Pistol.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Brings us down to the department head reports. Airport Commission will go first. I don't see anyone here from the airport. I think everything's proceeding along fine. I thought Jason Hayes would be around here. One thing I have on the agenda tonight is for the Airport Commission. We've been talking for some time. We've had 5 members on the commission for a long time. Councilman Pistol brought up a while back and said, look, you're supposed to have 7 members. And got to look, and absolutely it was correct. So looked around and got a couple of people I think will be good stewards of the city's money and familiar with aviation to some degree. Charles Ellis is with us tonight. Charles, if you want to, I think you've already talked to the Airport Commission. Just stand up and come to that microphone. Just tell who you are. The other one, while you walk up, would be William Keith. He's not here tonight. He's in St. Croix on the way home. I think he's had a pretty rough outing, but he'll be home shortly this evening. So I think Scooter, his dad, was on the commission for a long time and very level-headed, works at the phone company. So anyway, those will be 5-year terms for William Keith and Charles Ellis. Charles, I met Charles pouring concrete, and he was a pilot, and he got to know me and my father-in-law pretty well. Anyway, just tell us about yourself.
My name is Charles Ellis. I'm from Northeast Arkansas, born and raised in Walnut Ridge. Went on to graduate from Arkansas State in about 1975, went through ROTC. After that, I spent 20 years in the Army, retired Army, and during the Army, I spent most of my time in Army aviation as a helicopter pilot. After that, I decided I want to try to fly for a living, so with no airplane time, I got my private pilot's license in Jonesboro and taught for school, got all my ratings, and then got on Continental Express, which became United Express, and spent 21 years in the airline business. So I've spent the majority of my time of my life in aviation, it'd be military aviation or civilian aviation. So I'm retired now and I've got time to give back, and glad to help.
Over on Burnt Ridge now, got a real nice place that overlooks that little island out there. It's one of
Parker's
the-
Cove.
Yeah, one of the nicer views on the lake. So any questions or anything for Charles? I think he'll make a very good commissioner. And I think we might have one commissioner stepping down, and we're looking for a replacement for him to do that. So anyway, no, welcome aboard, and I think you'll do a great job. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
at this time, I'll entertain a motion and a second to approve the nominations, William Keith and Charles Ellis for the Airport Commission.
I'll make a motion. I'll second it.
Second, any other discussion? I'll ask for a vote.
Barnes.
Yes, go Army.
Hastings.
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Pistol.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes. And on the airport too, did the other council members know that we did get our check back from the?
Oh, yeah, I don't know that. We did get, yeah, I need to mention that. We've got that refund. We set that development and grants account, fronted money, 100% of it's back. So that's back in the deal. Charles, welcome aboard. So, yeah, can you do some weed eating out there? I noticed. Thanks a lot. Thanks for coming in. See you later. Brings us to animal control. Lori called. She has 29 dogs and 10 cats. I was talking a little bit with Tim Barnes and Steve Nichols and Will. We went out there, had a little plumbing issue, working on that, and Steve's been trying to get out there, and he's covered up, but he is in town. He's across from the pottery shop, so that'll be any minute. And also gonna look at the heat and air out there too. That's under contract in Hafford County, so fill up on that. 29 dogs, 10 cats. That was Lori's report. Tim Pike for the county.
Took 16 calls in the city last month, picked up 3 dogs, 8 cats, had 1 dog bite in the city.
Okay. No skunks or anything?
It's,
Somebody in this room had a skunk spray around their house and got in there heat and air and went all through the house.
that's game and fish.
Yeah.
That's game and fish.
Yeah, there you go.
Tim, how many days do you, work the parks down there? A week?
A week, well, that varies. I mean, last month I worked at 3 and this month 2.
Who takes your place when you're working the parks? Anybody?
The deputies are supposed to fill in.
Okay. I'm just curious.
Are they, with that, are they full, Tim? Are they full now, Officer Pike? The shelters, is that, they're full?
We
to
still
29?
have a little room for, dogs. I think we got like 3 kennels back there for dogs. We're still full on
I
cats.
think so, yeah.
Lori can ship the dogs to other places. She ain't got anywhere she can send the cats. So I
And I
mean,
think they're-
unless somebody adopts them.
I think they're getting ready to have another adoption thing or something. I think something's in the works down there when I went and talked with her and stuff. So I think something's in the works for an
Talking
adoption.
to Councilmember Barnes, and he talked about the AC, and Lori talked about that. I'll be meeting with the judge Friday on several issues, and that's something that'll come up, and if we need, we split that with the county or whatever, we get over the amount, I think we can get that fixed and then come back with a bill and get a council approval. We'll, if I need to call y'all back, we will. Anything else for Officer Pike? Thank you. Brings us down to the fire department report. Chief Jay Murdoch.
Been busy this month. We've had a oil leak on Highway 16 East, a false alarm at Clinton School. They were testing the fire system up there. Had a grass fire on Old Highway 9. High pressure gas line was cut on Quality Drive right across from Petty Jean Electric. Had a smoke alarm at Walmart. It was one of their AC units up on the roof. Gas spill at Tractor Supply, which was a vehicle that was driving down the road and something hit the gas tank and cut it. And luckily, we didn't have full tank gas. Smoke alarm at Tractor Supply, that was also an AC unit. We had one of the fire trucks at Archie Fest for the fireworks, so we were there for that. And we helped work a wreck on the bridge here on 6516. 2 fire inspections this month, done community services, the new building. I say new building, they're combining offices in the strip mall down here, Steve Bones strip mall. And then done fire inspection for Shirley Schools. Other than that, I won't get in the truck until we get to it, but our county numbers are up on the COVID. As everybody knows, COVID is starting to get back on a roll. As of today, we have 51 positive cases in this county, 70, to give you an idea, there are 70 in Searcy County, 116 in Pope County, 446 in Faulkner County, 76 in Cleburne. Overall, the state's number just today was 1,476 today. So I urge caution to everybody. I know everybody's out and about, but please be careful. Other than that, that's all I have for the fire report. If there's any questions, be glad to answer them.
Any questions for Chief Webb? Thank you. I saw y'all out there at Trash Supply. I wonder what that was.
Oh, we done ladder test Sunday too.
Yeah, I know. I saw you out there Sunday. It's only all weekend. Skip on it to you, so appreciate the work for sure. Always on the job. Thank you. Brings us to Parks and Street Department, Charles Wilson.
Park's looking pretty good. I'd like to have a car show August the 21st, open to all the public. We kind of kept it quiet till we got it all put together. Expect about 150 cars. Any business or vendors that wants to come in and set up are more than welcome. Anybody in the city has a business, wants to come in and set up a booth, it's free. Come in, everything's free to the public. Gonna have barbecue trucks there. Try to get a couple of live bands. It's gonna go from, I think, 8 o'clock that morning to 3 o'clock that evening, so.
Is that the Wounded Warrior?
Wounded Warriors, yeah. Hot August Days car show, so.
Free play.
There's no charge to enter your car?
Well, it's $10 to show it, 20 to enter, and all that proceeds go to the Wounded Warriors. They're gonna be there, have all their flags up, and walk around and talk to people and have a booth. It's gonna be a pretty good car show, we hope.
Okay, good deal.
It's all free to the public. Anybody that wants to come in, any bank that wants to bring a banner can bring a banner, we'll hang them on the fences. Anybody in the city, if you sell whatnots or whatever, give us a call, come in, join up, set up, show these people what you got, see if you can sell some stuff. I mean, it's a community thing, it's what it's all about, getting the community all together at the park and see
Good
what
deal.
happens.
Deal. We got,
So I'd like to get permission, if I can, to have that,
for that, what's the date on that?
August the 21st, Saturday.
May be entertained with motion second to approve that.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? I'll ask for a vote.
Owens,
Yes.
Hastings,
Yes.
Lynch,
Yes.
Pistol.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Street department, I've been down one person, so today I pulled one guy from Parks and Recs because grass is slowing down. Helped me get caught up on some bush hogging and some other stuff. I got people that's wanting some driveways fixed and all that, so we'll try to get all that done. There's a bucket truck on Gov Deals we went and looked at, and I'm under the understanding that we don't have to get bids on it because it's already being bidded out. So I just need to get an account set up where I can go up with Mr. Maddox at school and we can bid together. That way we're not bidding against each other on the same truck. He's got one picked out, I've got one picked out. So between us, we'll have a truck we can share. One of us is gonna get the big truck, one of us is gonna try to get the little truck. And that way we can swap, if he needs a small truck to get into a tight spot, if I need a tall truck, vice versa. So,
We can look at some tomorrow, just going down the road too, if that doesn't work out, so.
and so far, they're not really running up real high in price, but I have the money in the budget, so I don't know if y'all wanna approve me spending what's in the budget to get one of the trucks. I think there's 23,000 in there. So if you wanna set an amount not to go over 20,000 or whatever you wanna do, because this is gonna happen, I think I've just got a few days left here. I think it goes out, what, the 20th?
You know, if it's in the budget and it's been approved, that's fine, but if you need a motion, so how much you,
Well, we still gotta have approval.
okay.
So you're saying there's a line item in the budget for it? A
There's a
bucket
line
truck?
item in the budget for it, but we still gotta have approval.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
It's not for a bucket truck. I don't know what
It's
line item.
equipment.
Machinery and equipment one.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know how much is in there because
Anything over 2,000, we have to have approval for regardless. I mean, if I go up there and bid on it, I can get in trouble, so.
You need that
We need to go
before,
ahead and seal this approval.
obviously before the next meeting,
Before the 20th, yes.
and you have in those two, accounts enough.
Well, in that one account, I think there's, I'm pretty sure there's 23,000 in there, but, I mean, we can
Are
set
you
a limit.
comfortable with 20 or?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, these are good trucks. We looked at them. They were pretty clean, but, I mean, I hate to go any more than that for one.
Well, we had the money for it, just for equipment or whatever, just, I'll entertain a motion second. for-
Do we need to, is it, you said it's in two different accounts, do we need to specify
No.
one from each account for that, or how do we do that motion?
There's
Yeah, if we
23 in one account and then 5,000 in a bond, so I don't need that
Oh, so
5,000.
you just need the 20,000?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion, then we approve to spend up to 20,000 on the bucket truck.
I'll second
Second, any other discussion?
Is there a timeline on it?
Yeah.
Would there be a time, no, I mean, for, if that don't happen, is there a timeline for,
If that don't
6
happen, then
months.
it's over.
We
And
have
if
to
I find
start.
another one, then we'll
Got
start
it
all
down the
over.
road.
okay.
That's-
Are you confident, Charles, on the 20,000? I mean, do you need, I mean,
Why I bring that up, as far as I know, they all sold, they were earlier in the week. I called Paul and he said, yeah, he was looking at them, and last I heard was they went for 18,000 or 16,000 to 30,000.
Oh, So somebody just outright bought them?
No, they were in the auction, and I thought it was later in the week too.
I thought it didn't go out until the
Well,
20th.
that was my assumption too, but then Paul said, no, they were, there was like 4 hours left when I asked him about them.
Oh,
So,
so anyway.
that's why I said, they may already be done.
We can still allocate that, like I said, pending, so motion, and did you second it, Sean, or something?
Yeah.
Jason.
Any other discussion? I'll ask for a vote on that.
Barnes,
Yes.
Hastings,
Yes.
Lynch,
Yes.
Pistol,
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Hey, I think this is under streets. This Saturday, Tony's had an art show downtown. We're blocking a couple of streets for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, he's wanting to have, I guess, a art extravaganza or something. And he's wanting to block off the street from where Parrish is putting in the engineering over to the eye clinic through there. And then from Kennedy's Abstract up to Edward Jones's, block that off. And I guess he's gonna have vendors set up around the square there, so.
What time,
What's that?
Time, when?
have
Yeah,
no,
I don't know. They walked
I
that
have
out
no
this
idea.
morning. I was thinking, I said Shane,
He
he'll
should
cut
be
hair,
here,
some other
but
folks, and I think they
my
got
opinion, he should be here. It's his deal. He
You'll
has
say-
all the information. I'm just telling you.
Would
we're
9 to,
blocking.
was that reasonable, 9 to, or 8 to 5 or something? We still get traffic around, can't we?
Yeah, it'll come.
Yeah, I thought he
through.
might wanna elaborate on that, but I'd just say those streets, 8 to 5, if that's, I'll do a motion a second for that. There's something.
Wish we had a little more information.
Yeah, it'd be nice to know how to make this motion, because we don't just,
Yeah, what streets, I thought, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea the times. I have nothing. I
Is it
mean,
Main Street? or
If
is
you
it-
wanna do something, show up and.
Well, yeah,
talk
we
through
better just
something.
hold off, if we have to, I'll maybe get 4 of us together tomorrow, I'd hate to, but I kinda thought that's this morning, that was kinda came.
Oh, yeah, he just asking me and I told him that, I mean, this would be more feasible than trying to block it way up there on Main Street.
Is it something that maybe we could block a portion of it, like I talked about earlier, leave, a thoroughfare through there, or?
Yeah, I think so, really. I mean, it'll be going against they can just go straight through the Main Street and not
Let's
go
just,
around the porch.
we'll be around in the morning, let's just look at that again in the morning if I need to, maybe. I might grab a quorum tomorrow and,
If you wanna put on an event, show up.
Yeah. He had seen me earlier, a week or so ago, and he kinda told me how he was doing something with the Oak Building and this and that, so I'm thinking in my mind that it's gonna be there at the Oak Building.
Well, he was gonna cut it off right there at Sweet and Unique and across to the pool hall.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, well, the traffic will just come back in. And I said, once you get back to Radio Shack, you have to turn in and go by the chamber and pop out on the square because it's one way around the other way.
Yeah.
So,
let's just get a little more deal lined out first thing in the morning, and then tomorrow afternoon,
but he never
I
gave me
just
no time.
kinda thought that was, unless he shows up before the meeting adjourns. Okay, we'll just hold off on that. Anything else out of parks and streets or for Charles? Okay, thank you. Brings us to police department report, Chief Jay Murdoch.
You guys have a copy of my report. The only thing that didn't make it in there is Tommy graduating the academy the 30th down in Camden, so August 1st, we should be back to full strength.
Okay.
And if y'all have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer.
I think I saw that in the paper, I think, is that I don't know, maybe it wasn't, the park wallets and stuff kind of made a
Oh, yes, sir.
breakthrough on that.
Um,
That was kind of an issue for a long time.
Last month and the month before, we had a person that was opening unlocked car doors at City Park, stealing the wallets out of it, just people that are just leaving their cars unlocked. With valuables in it, he'd take the wallets, pull the money out, dump them in the trash. My detective, along with Charles and some of his gang, worked on that pretty hard, and we got a suspect, and he went to jail for it. And And I think the affidavit should be going to the prosecutor's office for about, I think, 10 counts of theft for that. So I think we got that problem kind of nipped in the bud.
Thank you for that. Appreciate the work on that by everybody. I know that was frustrating for a while. That's all I have.
You get the new radars in or ordering,
They are supposed to ship tomorrow. So I'm hoping we should have them in first of next week, middle of next week.
Thank you, Chief. Brings us to Water and Sewer Department, Will Hinchey.
All right, this last month, we treated 67,859,000 gallons. That was a 10 cent per 1,000 gallon cost on treatment on chemicals. Clinton water system as a whole is 26% water loss.
Yay.
And
Yeah.
divided that up, Burnt Ridge accounted for 52, it had 52% on its own, and then ours was down to 28%. So Burnt Ridge is still my issue, but it's a small portion. We figured up in the board meeting earlier, I never had actually figured it up. Burnt Ridge accounts for 2% of our water. I mean, 2% of what we put out there went to Burnt Ridge last month, so anyhow. Besides that, I don't have a whole lot. Updates on projects. Cornerstone was back in town. We're getting pretty close to having everything from 16 going north with the new line. Besides the brakes, it's got to be relayed on our reroutes. But they are back in town. We've done 2 rounds of testing sent to the health department. So as we get those results back, they'll do that tie-in. Will be new. So that's good. Still waiting on parts and material for the pole yard. It has been ordered. So whenever that gets in, they'll move into town and start construction on it. The main thing that I wanted to concentrate on tonight, if everybody's good, no other questions for me, is I've got Justin from Hindered Utility, which is who we purchased our meters and everything off of. He's, with Badger. So he is their tech support. So if you guys have any questions as far as Beacon program goes, these meters or Island Water, he's here to answer.
Absolutely. Anybody have any questions for me as far
I
as?
can cover that, but if I just give everybody kind of an overview, here's your system, here's what you got.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, my name is Justin Turner, for those of you guys that I've met, maybe a handful of you guys, but what we have sold you is it's Beacon AMA, which stands for Beacon, it's analytics. So it's for the water system as a whole. Our meters, electronic meters with cellular radios, will couple together to send in readings to the platform, which allows you to then bill out the water and sewer or water, just so that you don't have to go and read these meters. Along with Beacon, we have Island Water, which is the customer-facing portal. Get a little confusing here, but Beacon itself is for the water department, and then Island Water is for the water department's customers. So anybody who has one of these electronic meters can actually log into this platform and see whether they have a leak, backflow, or any of the statuses that the water meter is actually sending out. So that is Island Water as a whole. Now, Will did mention that you guys have somebody here that wanted to link those accounts. Who was that again?
That was with the school.
The school.
Yeah.
So, for instance, the individual here can actually see these accounts on their phone or tablet or anything that they may carry with them or even at their office. And they're able to actually see all of those meters within that portal.
When you say at the office, can you tie it into a computer or instead of just an app?
Well, it has the desktop as well as the phone. So you can actually log in on any browser and actually see that. Or you can use the app on the phone.
I've done
I didn't know that.
that. Yeah, Sean, since you were representing the school also, I asked him about, since you got 14 meters. for the
Yeah, I
whole
was
school,
wondering, I
It
fixed
can
that.
censors that many. If you've got other accounts and you just do like 3 or 4, you can do it with multiple email addresses. But doing 14, you can correct me if I'm wrong. That being that many, it needs to be issued just to that one
Correct.
email.
Okay,
So-
that's not a problem.
So the limitation is 1 email per account. So you can have as many accounts attached to the 1 email as you'd like. But those accounts that are attached to that email cannot be attached to other emails.
I mean, we'll just make up an account for
Absolutely,
that.
correct.
But it would sure be easier, I'm sure, if it was, I mean, maybe the alerts would be, but the track could be easier on a computer.
Yeah, some of the utilities, what they've done is we can send text message alerts as well as emails. So what they would do is they would attach it to all their on-call phones and any of the larger meters. They would have notifications sent to that individual's phone if there's anything that goes on, leaks, backflow, anything with the meter itself. It's really a nice thing to have, especially if you go on vacation or leave, and you can have that with you at all times. As a matter of fact, I carry mine on my phone too, and it allows me to see that I've leaked 2 gallons over the last month, so, versus what I've actually used.
The director of maintenance just asked me about it, you know,
Sure.
and I told him I'd find out.
Yeah, and I'm happy to talk to him as well.
So, yeah.
Sure. Okay. Anybody have any other questions for me?
My whole question about it is like, I had a leak.
Sure.
I mean, I live with a house full of women, but that's a leak, you know. But I never got a notification, so how is this? I talked to Will, and Will said there's like a 24-hour period or some kind of waiting period or something before something sends out. But on this particular one is because the only reason I knew that I had a leak is a water department employee came out to my house, you know, to leave something on the front door or whatever, and luckily my daughter was there and I said, well, look back where, because that was only one place I knew where it would leak. So my thing is, how is this synced up, and is there a time period, or is there some metric or analytic thing that you guys set to make sure that something's sent?
Sure. The default for globally, what we consider global is every accounting system. By default, it is 1 gallon per hour for 24 hours. Now, that being said, our meters sample twice every so many minutes. Now, once it samples the first time, it checks for a reading, make sure that is there flow or is there no flow. Then it samples again and says, hey, if there is flow, how long has it been flowing for, and is it continuous? If at any point in time that dips below the 1 gallon per hour threshold, it is no longer considered a leak. So
I can guarantee you this was not below that threshold.
Sure. And if it didn't send you a notification, that's something that we need to look at. But it should have sent you a pop-down notification on your phone, or you should have gotten an email. Whatever account that is attached to whatever email is signed up should have an email there. And it honestly could have gone to spam or junk, so that may be something you'd want to check, but it should have sent a notification. And again, if it ever varied, you can also set your own thresholds. If you want it less than a gallon, you can set it at less than a gallon, or you can set
How
it.
do you do that?
You'll have to actually go into the settings on there and set the leak alert threshold.
Well, I don't even have, that's not even on here.
Would you like me to come over and?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean,
Sure.
I'm not as literate on this.
Sammy's got a landline.
Yeah.
You
can
get a
fix it?
team to call you and say water. That's right.
Yeah.
You got a leak.
Corded phone.
Put a pistol in his mouth.
Justin, am I wrong in saying though that leak has to go for a full 24 hours before it will?
It
send
does.
Okay.
It does. You are correct. And so, see, you're configured at 120 gallons an hour. And so I went to the account. So this is where you would normally come in, and then you have to count, and then you go to this right here. And then you'll
Will,
set
do you know how many
Right now,
customers,
you're at 100.
water customers are actually using this app?
I can look on the computer. It actually, when we look at an account, it tells whether there has been an email address assigned to it, and it does tell us on the computer how many of our customers are actually using the island. So yes. And there was a lot more than I expected.
Okay.
I can't remember the exact number, and I can't look at it at that point, but Justin, I don't know if you can see it on yours or not, but it does tell you how many
It does.
customers, yeah.
Yeah, I can pull that up and give you the statistics on that as well if you'd like. But once the customers, your customers, figure out that they have that capability, a lot of them will want to do it. Now, there are many utilities out there where some of the customers, we don't care about that. We just care that we get a bill in the mail or not. But it is usually very well received. So.
And I'm all about saving money, and I see an opportunity here with this app that's on your phone that's linked to your water
Mhm.
bill or your water usage.
Correct.
You know, if you get somewhere around 60 to 70% of customers using that app, it looks to me like it would be only obvious that, logical that we would set up billing through that app, so we're gonna send out postage, money on postage could be saved. Is that a possibility, or?
Unfortunately not. We, at this time, only allow the customers to see usage. Now, they can set thresholds. So if the customer said, if you wanted to globally say, hey, anybody who hits this amount of water per month is gonna get a notification. We can do that as well, and that's what we call conservation. As far as the feature, it's the conservation feature. So we can set that up. But as far as you looking at the bill and seeing anything like that, at this time, we don't. We don't allow that capability.
Is it something that could be upgraded later?
Possibly in the future.
The software?
I know that Badger right now is tying a lot of the Beacon platform into the billing system. As of right now, you're able to see if they have auto pay. You're able to see if they have paperless billing. There's a lot of other billing features that are slowly coming into play. So in the near future, I foresee it absolutely. Okay.
Anything else?
I'll just add, I had a water leak this month, and mine was saying 0.6 gallons per hour, and it was notifying me.
Yeah, Justin, correct me if I'm wrong on this, I've looked at that, and sometimes, if I'm not wrong, it reads every 15 minutes on there, so sometimes that alert it gives you, when I go out and look at the meter, it don't match up, because I'm looking
Correct.
at gallons per minute, and you're looking at gallons per minute multiplied times 15.
Correct.
So, am I wrong in
You're
that?
you're correct. So the Island Water app, Island Water and Beacon are the same platform, yes. But they operate a little bit independently of one another. The Island Water app will notify you quicker than Beacon will. It wants you to know, hey, you may have 0.4 out of the normal amount of water that you use is being leaked. And it wants you to know that. But the alert won't actually show up until you meet the threshold of 1 gallon. So Beacon sees it at 1 gallon, Island Water sees it at 1/10 of a gallon. And so that's the difference there.
Well, it sent me an alert at 0.6.
It will,
Okay.
it will, until you tell it, I don't want alerts until this amount.
Okay.
So it will continually send that alert.
So what he was saying, the reason it's telling me at 0.6, that was for 15 minutes?
It is.
Would have been an hour, would have been a gallon
Correct.
an hour, okay.
That is correct. Okay.
Anything else? Man, I appreciate you coming.
Yeah,
Thank you
absolutely,
very
happy
much.
to be here.
Okay. I didn't want to go much further, it's turned into a word problem. It's like 15 points. But thank you very much. Will, anything else on water? I think you
Just in
covered
case
it.
we got any questions.
Thanks a lot. Brings us to zoning department. Chief Tim Clark.
Got the Walmart remodels finally complete. H&R Block, they're moving right along. They're working on the inside mostly. They've got some exterior stuff left to do. The new Mexican restaurant remodel, Steve Nichols is in there putting in new drinks, tearing up the floor, but they're coming right along. The two new electric car charging stations at Super 8 Motel, they finished those last week, so if you've got an electric car, go charge it up. All the weather sirens are now fully functional.
Thank you.
Even the one on Highway 16 works now. Bo Collins called me yesterday, and the Catfish Farmers of Arkansas will once again sponsor the Chuck Wagon Trail Ride Fish Fry.
Good.
So that's a good thing. Our flood map models, I wanted to have something here to show y'all. I talked to Lee Schoner, the engineer, this morning, and he said they're still working on their detailed hydraulic study of South Fork branch of the Little Red. And he told me a whole bunch of other stuff that I had no idea what he was talking about. I just said, give me a date. So when can we look at some maps and see some models? And he said, well, to be safe, say 2 months. It'd probably be earlier than that, but just say within the next 2 months, we'll have models for everybody to look at. So that's where we are on that. That's all I got.
Two things. One is, talking about flood maps. I know Steve Nunley's finished up his deal with Town Branch, and there'll be some cleanup, I think, just some individuals. There was some trash and stuff, so we're gonna, a lot of these, community service workers, I'm gonna pick up that, got that done. And FTN, you're dealing with them, and I think they came up, I want you and Will to get together after the meeting and make sure that, we're using the same people. You might know the same people in the water department, too, and some water study. That's all I had. That's all I had. Anything else for Tim Clark? Thank you. Brings us down to old business, City Hall update. I think we've allocated $40,000 and $100,000 in March. That brought us to $140,000. I think we've written around $115,000 worth of checks. We're lacking, make sure I get this right. We have an electrical bill. It'll be close to $20,000 for the entire wiring. Couple of $3,000 maybe in plumbing. We were able to use our same plumbing, obviously, most of it. Some painting, I have $10,000 on, desk furnishings. I want to go ahead and move. We talked about when we started out around 150, 200,000. I really didn't want to break that 200,000 personally, because it's like, that's a lot of money, but go in there and look at what we've got, and I think you'll be happy, extremely happy. It's turned out really good. The office is in the back even. I thought, well, that's a block. It may not look too good. Go in City Hall, the new City Hall, and see that. I'd like tonight, a motion and second to move an additional $60,000 over. That'll put us at an even $200,000 for the whole job. That way we wouldn't have to come back anymore. I hope we don't get there. I think we'll end up around 175, 185. Start saying numbers, you eat your words, but I think we're on a pretty good pace. I still want to take a look at the roof when we're all done and do a once over. I think you had some roof work done, and James Reed was talking about that. But that's where we're at on that. We're at 115,000, and that what I mentioned, it looks like it'll put us around around that 150 mark. So we'll break that 140. I just wanted to go ahead and move that money, and if we don't go that far, we'll just have not used it. Entertain a motion second to move 60,000 into that, which will cover fixtures, furnishings, furniture, appliances. Fixtures being things like blinds. There are some things, but turned out really well, but there'll be a few things. We already have some furniture. I bought some furniture, and we might use that. I mean, y'all can have that. I don't need it. I didn't need it when I bought it. But I'll entertain a motion in a second to move $60,000, making it even $200,000.
I'll make a motion that we move 60,000.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion or questions? We're pretty close to being done. I didn't want to say a jump off date, but for safety's sake, I'd like to just have James just say, well, we can be in sometime in August. Almost everything works out. I'd like to shoot for like the middle of September, get through the chuck wagon races, and maybe have a grand opening or however we want to do it. Invite the Tomlinsons and whoever else.
We got a new building. I think we need new furniture to go in it.
On that, it's like, I started not even get a desk, but the one I've got, somebody, what we're getting, Dina's getting it through. I think it's the prisoners, they make it, and it's really nice and really heavy and really inexpensive. Very nice. So I will say this, Dina and Alicia have, they're not spendthrifts, I promise, and they've watched it close, and they've done a phenomenal job. The way that's laid out, it turned out, hey, I was surprised how well it turned out, so. Anyway, anything else?
I'll just say that, I've told this, Richard, too. I mean, we've got one time to do this, we need to do it right, and $200,000 is a lot of money, but when people walk in there, and that sets the tone for anything that the city does, then I think that's a very wise investment for the future. So I think what we spend now, I think in the future, we're definitely gonna get the returns back, because, I mean, people do talk, and, you know, it's just like the Head and Shoulders commercial. You don't have a second chance to make a good first impression, and you wanna make a really good first impression when people come in and visit our city, especially if they're talking about bringing something to our city, and we're maybe in competition with some others. So any kind of advantage we can, that's what we need to do.
It doesn't look choppy. I mean, it looks like it was well laid out. I was pleased. I thought the back might look like cubicle job, but they did a really good job. Just go in and see it, and this time when I invite you down there, it'll be unlocked. You can actually go in and actually see it. Anyway,
If not, we can open it.
that's right. Benja's got the key. They won't give me a key or I'll just lose it. I'll call for a vote.
Barnes,
Yes.
Hastings,
Yes.
Lynch,
Yes.
Pistol,
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Brings us down to new business, resolution authorizing the purchase of a fire truck. I'll read this and then I'll let Chief Webb elaborate on this. This is a resolution authorizing the purchase of a fire truck, whereas the City of Clinton Fire Department needs to purchase a fire truck, and whereas the city anticipates incoming revenue over the next several years for the countywide sales tax dedicated to fire departments that can be used to purchase said truck, and whereas there is money available in the general fund now to purchase the truck and avoid the need to issue a bond, and whereas the city desires to authorize the purchase of a ladder truck with available revenue, and to set forth terms of reimbursement of city general with sales tax revenues. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Clinton, Arkansas, Section 1, the mayor is authorized to purchase for the City of Clinton Fire Department one 2005 Pierce 100-foot platform ladder truck, VIN number 4P1CD01H65A004679, for up to $335,000. Section 2, $185,000 is transferred from the city general fund to the fire department's budget to fund the purchase. Section 3, the city general fund will be reimbursed a minimum of $50,000 per year for the City of Clinton Fire Department's share of the county's fire department tax and other fire department revenue until the funds transferred to purchase a truck are fully reimbursed. That's the resolution. I entertain a motion and a second for that approval. Then we'll have discussion.
Make a motion, we approve the resolution.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Chief Webb, if you want to.
Well, the 83's done. They called me and said, bring a record, come get it. They can't fix it. There's no parts been made for it since 1993. I've done a lot of research, a lot of walking, a lot of smoking, unfortunately. I know more about fire trucks in the last month than I've ever learned in my life. And for those of y'all that are those that may be interested, yes, I looked at military surplus. I've looked at Quebec, Canada. I've talked to people in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Kissimmee, Florida, just about everywhere I can find. This truck is a 2005 model. It's an older model, but it's the best from what I can find from talking to everybody. It's the best used truck out there. It is currently in service in Iowa. If y'all approve this resolution tonight, I will be making a trip to Iowa Tuesday to look and actually put hands on this truck. They will give us a 1-year warranty, bumper to bumper, which you don't hardly get that even with a new truck. They will also do aerial test. We'll have that done on the ladder, and pump test. They will guarantee, we will have the test done to show that this truck works completely. See what I wrote down here. I talked them down, and the original price was $369,000. We've negotiated it down to $335,000 with still the 1-year warranty, aerial test and pump. It's been a lot of work just to find a fire truck. But this is what I believe is the best option that we have at this time. We are gonna pull $150,000 out of our account, and I say our account, out of the fire truck fund, Act 833 monies to fund the $150,000. The city I talked with Dina, and she brought it up. Matter of fact, instead of trying to take out a loan and paying interest on this, the city has the money, so we would just be reimbursing back the city. The city would be out the initial $185,000, but with us paying it back, we'll be able to pay it off within 3.5 years. If we had to go through a bank or anybody else, we can only go out 5 years, as y'all well know, and that would probably be possible. So, I think this is the best thing we've got, what we can find right now.
My comments was that you did look at a lot of them. You had one in Kissimmee, and it was a really good price, but it was almost like it was completely locked in four-wheel drive all the time. And you talked about it, you didn't want to buy someone else's problem or a dinosaur.
That's what you get into, and that's why I wanted to make sure everybody understood that I checked military surplus, I've checked auctions, I've checked everything in the world, because you can find trucks, if you don't know what you're looking at, that's $100,000. You call them up, and they say, what's wrong with this truck? Well, it doesn't have a pump, and it doesn't have a tank. Well, it's a limb trimmer is all it is, trim your limbs. So there's nothing out there you're buying somebody else's problem.
I like the fact that it's in service. That's always a good thing. They're using it, and then they're gonna do a once-over when they take it off. And I really like the fact that you're going up there and taking a couple or whoever to kick the tires with you and look at it before you spend that kind of money. And, yeah, Dina, like I said, appreciate Dina seriously for saying, look, here's the best way to do this, if you don't save money. And
Well, the city will be out no money. It'll be paid through the sales tax that's being generated through the half cent from the hospital that all the departments get for the next 14 years. So it'll just be a matter of we'll be paying that back, and then we'll still be able to keep some funds in our accounts to buy things we need, but it'll be a short payoff.
if you can make payments to yourself, that's a good thing.
Correct.
Anybody
If I may ask,
Sir?
check the age of the tires, because they may be old.
I agree with you
I
totally.
mean, you gotta drive that thing back, I know, if it may need tires right when
I
you
ain't
get
getting in that thing.
Yes, sir. I agree with you. We just got through, that's the unfortunate thing, we just got through buying brand new tires for the 83 that we had. So maybe they'll fit on this new one, something we can pull off. Because that's what we plan on doing with the 83. There's no value to it because it's locked, it won't drive, it won't pump. We can get the ladder up, but that's a liability if you thought about putting it in a city park or something like that.
Charles looking for a bucket truck, maybe he'll set up
There,
a ladder.
yeah, there you go. No, it won't drive, you can't drive it.
Pull it with a tractor.
Yeah, you have to pull it with
That's
a
what we
tractor.
do with Charles all the time.
So we'll end up taking all the hose, everything off of it that we can, and then in gov deals or scrap or something is about all we can do with it. But we gotta do something. That's all it boils down
Well,
to.
I think you've worked hard on it, I really do, and it's, put a lot of time into it, and, I hope you get up there and be happy with it. I think you're taking the right course.
I have printed off this, if y'all wanna see it here in a minute, it's a picture of the truck with all the specs to it, and if you wanna see a video of it, I have a video on my iPad that'll show you what the truck looks like, certainly.
I'm confident in your decision and your people you got.
I will be taking somebody with me that is a lot smarter than me to look at this truck, to make sure to keep the tires.
I can't go.
Again, I'll find somebody.
No comment, yeah, I know. No, you'll take the right people, and that's good, and you need to go, you found it, and I think like I say, I hope it's good. I think it certainly will be an improvement.
Well, it'll be an improvement
What
from
we got right now.
83 to 2005, so.
And you got a plan for storage too, I think, you're working on that.
We do have 2 options, possibly 3 options at this point. One I hadn't even talked to the mayor about it. We just come across it today, so I'll talk to you about that. But yeah, there's no station we have that it'll fit in, so we will have to.
Is there an add-on or a rent or
We
something?
can add on if we need to, and that's another one that Ms. Malone brought to my attention, that we could do the same thing with that and borrow money from the city to build the station and then pay them back, which would only be, if we could do it at the same rate,
Sure.
2 years to build on, or to have an addition built on. So I think we got everything covered. without a new tax to the cities, the citizens of the city, using our own monies and using monies that was given, I say given, through the sales tax that was generated countywide to all fire departments.
Hey, it's working out good. Clerk of the Year. Good job, DL and all y'all. Anything else? I'll ask for a vote on that.
Barnes,
Yes.
Hastings,
Yes.
Lynch,
Yes.
Pistol,
Yes.
Ward,
Yes.
2021-05.
Brings us down to
Mr. Mayor,
public.
If I can
Oh,
say
I'm
something,
sorry.
I've got two other things, if I can go ahead and do it. I talked with, Chief Police here, and, we're going to ask 911 to change their protocol. I have a letter here that I'll be glad to let y'all read, as far as the way they tone out our departments and with who can 1022 us, or, so I have a letter here that I've already talked to 911, I've talked to some other people about, they know about it, but I just want to run this by y'all first. But the only concern that they had was on wrecks. They always like having two sets of jaws going to a wreck. And at this point, we do have the money available in our Act 833 money to buy new jaws. I believe I talked about that 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 months ago. So at this time, I would like to be able to spend up to $30,000 out of our Act 833 money for a new set of jaws, which would be the cutters, the spreaders, and extendables that you can put on there. But I have a quote from Amicus. That's the dealer that actually came up to us 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, something like that, to show us that. With this new truck, I have an idea of being able to have two sets of jaws for the city of Clinton. One will be able to stay at the central station, just like we have now. And this set would be on the other side of the bridge, on the 65 side where Walmart and all the wrecks have mainly been happening. So I would like to ask
Entertain a
y'all to
motion
approve.
second to spend up to $30,000 out of 833 for new jaws. Entertain a motion second for that. Approval.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Second, any other discussion? I'll ask for a vote.
Barnes,
Yes.
Hastings,
Yes.
Lynch,
Yes.
Pistol,
Yes.
Ward,
Yes.
I'm done, thank you.
I'll
back
see
in
you after
business.
that, I don't know, something else came up with Donnie Call, I'll ask you about that.
Okay.
Anything else for the council? Public comment? Mayor's comments, I have, not many, lost a lot of good people. You start naming names and you leave people out. Danny East Bowling, Muriel Hink, both of them 99 years old. Major community figures. Seen so much in this community, and they passed away. Clovis Bradford, Vernon Cox, and best friend I ever had, J.F. Cullum. So, special shout out to Jay and his family. Last week of July, I think we're looking around the 17th, we'll start talking that budget once a month from here on out. Jeff brought it up, hey, we talk about having a budget meeting up until, then we see a budget. So, department heads, I've already talked to y'all, start looking at your wish list, and things that, you know, are red flags that's coming up. This weekend in downtown, having a cook-off, and
Archie, it's at the park,
it's at the park, is that cook-off?
8 a.m. to 2 a.m.
Okay, 8 to 2 a.m. And that's all I have. Tim, Tim Pike, not you.
I didn't verify that while ago when you asked how many days I work in
Yeah.
parks. That's, was 3 days for last month, the whole month, and 2 days this month. It's not 2 and 3 days a week. You
Okay.
asked how many days a
Well,
week.
I just heard you on the scanner. I was just wondering how many days you was working down there.
Like I said, last month, for the whole month, it was 3 days, and this month I've already done 2, and the schedule's complete. I don't have any more.
Okay.
You need to get busy. DO works every day.
Well, I want you to verify. I didn't want you to think I was working 3 days a week last month, every week, and 2 days this month every week.
Thank you. Nothing else, I'll entertain a motion second to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
We stand adjourned, thank you.